Tonight on 1000 Places to See Before You Die.
Should have brought a plastic bag.
Hey guys, here we go.
Albin and Melanie soar above the great state of Alaska.
God, it's amazing.
Alaska's just overwhelming.
In the pristine Kenai Peninsula, they find outdoor adventure. And at a lodge in Kachemak Bay, a delectable snack is gathered and served right on the beach.
Throw the shells right back over.
There you go.
And explore Homer, Alaska.
Homer is a quaint drinking village with a fishing problem.
And go camping with the Yulees on the Homer Spit.
Where's that lighter fluid?
Everything in Alaska is larger than life. It is the adventures you would never even think to have.
You see only 936 full moons in your lifetime. You live through only 312 seasons. And you get only 88 weeks of paid vacation. What if you had the chance to see the world? Meet Albin and Melanie Yule, newlyweds with a spirit of adventure, who leave their lives in Colorado behind to go on the journey of a lifetime. Inspired by the book, 1000 Places to See Before You Die, they lead us on a 5-month, all-expenses-paid odyssey around the world.
Some people have said to us, how can you put your life on hold? And our response is, how could you not?
1000 Places to See Before You Die. Getting to Alaska is the easy part. Alaska Air offers several direct flights from many cities in both the U.S. and Mexico. Deciding what to do once you get here is the real challenge.
Now, really getting to see and taste everything we've read about, and I appreciate how lucky we were to be chosen to do this.
After reading the Alaska pages of the 1000 Places to See book, Albin and Melanie begin their adventure in the city of Girdwood.
The thing that Alaska has to offer, wide open expanses of uninhabited land, incredible amounts of it, lots of wild land. Our road system is fairly small, fairly insignificant. They have a saying up here, it's fly an hour or walk a week. I prefer to fly the hour.
For a reasonable $300, Keith will fly you to and land on a glacier. It's getting to the glacier that's the best part, unless you're afraid to fly.
Hey guys, here we go.
I'm extremely nervous for the first, 5 minutes when I'm in the helicopter.
Oh, come on, Mel, this is great.
Is this a reliable form of transportation? I've never been on it before.
So cool. Okay, I'm gonna accelerate up to 60 knots here.
The Chugach Mountains are the northernmost of several mountain ranges, spanning approximately 300 miles on the western edge of North America.
Okay, are we gonna go over the Harriman Pass and we're to Harriman? I'm gonna start descending here a little bit, and over here at about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock is a 20-mile glacier.
It's amazing.
See it up here? Yeah. These glaciers are up to 10,000 years old. They're typically from the last ice age, which puts them about 3,000 to 10,000 years old.
This is the most amazing thing I've ever done in my entire life.
With the clouds in front of all of it.
I had any idea how diverse Alaska was going to be. The mountains are very, very green, and then it's dark, craggy rocks, and then it's white, beautiful glacier, and then it's blue water. I mean, it's totally different depending on where you're at. And I don't know what I expected.
The blue comes from the density of the ice. It's such dense ice that it absorbs the color blue, reflects all the other colors. I just can't believe we're landing. Okay, perfect.
Weird.
The astonishing natural surroundings of Alaska leave many visitors with a profound sense of awe. Albin and Melanie first get that feeling in an utterly unspoiled place.
Welcome to the glacier, you guys.
This is incredible.
We're at about 3,500 feet. We're probably standing on about 1,000 feet of snow and ice right now.
That mountain right there, how far do you think it is from here to there?
It's probably 7-8 miles.
See, that's amazing.
It looks like
so,
hundreds of yards.
so close.
Yeah, because everything is a lot further
vast.
than what you think.
Being here, I'm initially struck by all the beauty. There's so many places around the world that we've never even considered going to or had the courage to go see. And now I'm excited. I'm excited about what the whole world has to offer us. Look, it just goes on forever.
So were you were initially scared?
I was really scared.
So how do you feel now?
Great, I love it. I love helicopters now.
Yeah.
It's so smooth. It's just so pleasant and smooth, and you can see so much.
Can she fly on the way
It's
back?
really peaceful.
Yeah, we can switch out. I'll sit in the back.
Oh yeah, no, I can totally handle this.
And I'll walk.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. There's just so much to see. And I was honestly shocked. I didn't know it was going to be so diverse and so amazing. It's really beautiful. Honestly, you have to see it because you can't describe it.
The sumptuous mountains around Girdwood attracted American settlers with the promise of discovering gold. Even today, the dream of striking it rich is alive and well. Just spend the day at the rustic Crow Creek Mine.
The miners were in this area in 1898 and 1897, and they were looking for gold, and they found gold here. The mine's been in our family since 1969. Our dad purchased this mine from a Norwegian named Arne Eriksson, who had owned the mine since the 30s. And he loved my dad because he cared about the old buildings. And because of the weather, you have to maintain the buildings constantly. Come right over here and I will demonstrate how it's done. We get a lot of tourists here at the mine, we can do up to 20 to 30,000 a year. Okay, I'm gonna give you a quick demonstration on how to pan. Majority of them want to pan for gold to find their own. Sand, gravel, mud, dirt, clay, topsoil. There's gold in all of those. You scoop up clean water and you mix the water and the material in the pan. The gold that's on the bottom is now trapped at the lowest point that it can go. Circulate the water in the pan. Anything heavy should sit under your thumb. Thank you. You bet. Good luck. We have people who come from all over the world to pan for gold, to use metal detectors, suction dredges. The hobby just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, there's some gold right here. We're picking these up out of that hard pan right there.
My name is Mike Telgenhoff, and I'm mining for gold. I do this for a hobby. I've been doing this for about 14, 15 years. The mother lode has never been discovered here in Crow Creek. And every year, the floods come through and deposit a tremendous amount of gold in this creek. And so they know the mother lode is still here.
Usually nuggets, because they're rare, are about 3 times spot value of gold. So if gold is $600 an ounce, it's probably worth about $1,800. Found it right down here in the creek. It was a good find.
You know, the gold is a plus, but it's also finding things in the earth laid here by man from as early as, 1850 to as late as 1970.
It's important that when you come to Alaska that you get to see the real history and the real beauty of Alaska, and I think this is a good example of it.
Albin and Melanie visit the Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center in Portage Glacier, just off the Kenai Peninsula. This animal refuge is a protected haven for rescued or injured animals that would be at risk if left in the wild.
Come on!
Oh my gosh.
Come on!
天哪！
The
Little baby over there. Did you see him come in?
That's only a week old?
Yeah, I was born late. My name's Mike Miller. I'm the founder and the director of the Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
Okay.
The male will want to keep the females away from us and under his control. That's why he does all that bugling and stuff.
To keep us away?
Keep his females under control.
Yeah, I gotta do that with Melanie sometimes.
At a zoo, there are bars, and you feel safe, and we really got thrown right into their element, which is amazing.
It's like you guys have had enough.
The center is also home to several people-dependent moose. Seymour, the latest addition, will remain here long after he's weaned from the baby bottle.
Hi, Seymour.
God, he's not even a year old.
Look at he's so hungry.
I know. I want your bottle. Okay, buddy. Hang on.
Okay. Oh my gosh, you're totally hungry, Seymour.
Nice, Mel.
We take in a lot of injured and orphaned animals, so that means that a lot of the animals we have here have stories behind them.
So where's his mom?
His mom was killed at a construction site in Anchorage.
Now, is he gonna get released back into the wild?
He's not. When they're orphaned at such a young age, they don't know how to avoid predators, and so we provide them with permanent homes.
Oh, Seymour, we hardly knew you.
We have all kinds of animals. We currently have 8 bears, which is pretty exciting. The 3 that we have in this 18-acre enclosure, and then the 3 cubs that we have, brown bear and grizzly cubs.
That one's a grizzly?
Yeah, the grizzly brown bear thing, it's just pretty much where they come from in the state.
Oh, okay.
So the interior bears are the grizzlies and the coastal bears are the brown bears. These 2, they couldn't find the moms anywhere, but it's real uncommon for a grizzly sow just to abandon her cubs, so they think that something happened to the moms. They looked for the moms, but they couldn't find them.
Sad.
And this one, the mother was shot.
How much are they gonna end up weighing?
Well, the brown bears can get to be over 1,000 pounds. The tundra bears are more around 400 to 600.
Do these guys fight at all, or are they?
You know, I'm actually surprised that they're sticking to their own bulls.
Look at this.
Oh, just as you predicted.
See, I shouldn't have said anything.
All the animals that we get that are orphaned, it's because mommy didn't fall off a cliff or a tree fell on her or something natural. It's because mommy got hit by a car or accidentally shot or separated from the calf because of chain link fences and kids throwing rocks. You know, it's all man-made sort of incidents, and at some point in time you got to say, you know, we should intervene and do something to at least make it a better balance.
Pure luxury, pure wilderness, pure Alaska. Just 40 miles south of Anchorage, the Alyeska Resort is a world-class year-round vacation spot.
We're here at Alyeska Resort, the most beautiful resort here in Alaska. We're kind of the only kind of year-round resort. We have a ski area that is spectacular skiing, many trails, even during summer go on a helicopter flight and go dog mushing. You could go down the road and go fishing in Prince William Sound or down to Seward. So there's a lot of activities in and around, so it's a spectacular setting.
Do you have a reindeer hot dog?
We have a package called a tram combo where you go up the mountain in the summertime, and for $20 you get a ride up the mountain and get a good combination sandwich and soup.
Thanks.
I'll bring you on the upstairs now.
Living in Colorado, we take a lot of gondola rides. And the gondola at the Alyeska Hotel is huge.
You see the beautiful hotel and the grass, the flowers, the trees. It's a great time to be riding in a gondola.
We had a really nice picnic. We got to take up our wine that's from Alaska.
Nice. Tell you're a bartender.
Raspberry wine, never had that before. That was a first. Very delicious, fruity.
And then we got to enjoy reindeer dogs.
All right, let's try this reindeer.
Good.
The resort, with its convenient gondolas, is popular for hang gliding and paragliding.
Like I said, this is a good place to go paragliding because the tram's here. You get some nice thermals off the valley bottom. And on days like this, we got some clouds which kind of cut those down a little bit, but if we get a lot of sun in the summer in June and July, you can get up to 6,000 to 7,000 feet above the ground here.
Not far from the Alyeska, you can find a place where champion athletes live, train, and eat dog food.
You guys ever been mushing before?
Never.
See a dog sled? All right,
Never.
we're gonna show you the actual dogs that have won the Iditarod here. Take you guys dog mushing. This is as Alaskan as it gets right here. I'm Danny Seavey. I'm a dog musher.
The Seavies are 3 generations of Iditarod racers who spend summers at their home in Seward.
The next generation of Iditarod champions. Just pick her back feet up off the ground, she'll let go.
Really?
Yep.
One
That's
or
all right,
both?
you better.
Oh, one work.
The Iditarod Trail starts in Anchorage, just north of us here in Seward, and heads across the state all the way up to Nome. It's about 1,100 miles long.
A great Alaskan tradition, the Iditarod is a yearly dog sled race that brings the sport of dog mushing to its highest level of competition. The race is Alaska's most popular sporting event since it began in 1973. And the top mushers and their dogs are local celebrities. For a good reason. These athletes brave bitter weather conditions, with the wind chill sometimes dropping to an Arctic 100 degrees below. The Yulees are about to discover that the Iditarod, in addition to being Alaska's most popular sport, is a load of fun.
Oh my God. Hank's the lead dog on the right, Brooklyn's the one on the left. So I steer the leaders with voice commands. Tell them G to go right, paw to go left, tell them whoa to try to stop.
That's the only thing that makes us turn is you telling the lead dog to turn?
G.
The Iditarod follows the route used in 1925 to deliver a diphtheria vaccine to Nome, Alaska. A 20-dog team covered the 670-mile trip in just over 5 days, down from the usual 15, and were able to save the town.
How do they hear you in a snowstorm when you're doing the Iditarod? Or is there...
Dogs have incredible hearing. And honestly, when I get in a snowstorm, I don't know where to go. I'm trusting the lead dogs.
All right.
These dogs are so excited to be strapped up to this sled. I'm shocked to see and how fast they're pulling this sled. I mean, we're flying through the woods.
Oh, yeah.
Flying.
This morning, the Yulis are in the Kenai Peninsula, taking in its beauty and animal wonders. The Yulis have soared above the Chugach Mountains by helicopter. Now, they'll traverse the terrain heading to Spencer Glacier. No roads lead to this natural wonder, but fortunately, the Alaska Railroad does.
The Alaska Railroad began in earnest in 1914 when Congress put together a commission to figure out how to get resources out of Alaska. In 1915, construction began north towards Fairbanks and south towards Seward. And that's really how Anchorage began.
Next to the railroad, which freights the mail, is the nation's longest telegraph line, stretching down to Seattle and connecting Alaska to the other 49 states.
All aboard!
Traveling to Spencer Glacier will take almost 2 hours, but the time zips by, taking in the lush scenery.
The railroad's been running for nearly 100 years, and it was a very important lifeline for Alaska because there were no roads, there were no real trails.
In the winter, does the weather ever get in the way of the train's ability to function?
It can potentially. This is actually one of the areas between Anchorage and Seward that really gets the most snowfall, you know, anywhere between 8 to 12 feet of snow at some point.
Oh, wow.
A lot of avalanches, but we keep them clear. We have a locomotive with a big plow on the front of it. You know, the best part about traveling on the train is it's about being able to ride into a place that you can only get to on the railroad. That's kind of the whole adventure part of it. You know, it's really about the journey.
Just a mile from the tracks, the Yulis are humbled by the stunning vistas of iceberg-choked Spencer Lake. The glacier itself is secluded, virtually untouched by man.
Wow.
This isn't what I expected.
Glaciers are made up of fallen snow that over time compresses into thick floating masses. What makes glaciers unique is their ability to move.
I'll end up paddling nice and smooth together.
I'm just saying, you're good at this.
You guys go. Why don't you go ahead and take the seat with the dagger board for me? My name's Dan Kuber, and I'm one of the trip leaders. I love what I do. I play. Guys, welcome to Spencer Lake and Spencer Glacier. It was named after Bill Spencer. He worked for the railroad back in the 30s. He was the man that went around, collected time cards, and paid people in gold. It was a really snowy winter, and his normal route of travel was closed by avalanches. This was his most likely alternate. Spencer disappeared right here over Spencer Glacier. Never been found, nor has the gold.
How bad is it if we were to fall in? What's the,
Well,
Because you know how cold that water is. It's like maybe 32, 35 degrees, and you see ice all around you. And I definitely didn't want to fall out of the boat.
A few years ago, I did a training drill where I was dressed in street clothes like you are, and I jumped out of the boat, and within 15 seconds, I was unable to get myself back into the boat.
We should probably go back now.
I think it is cool that that enormous iceberg we just floated past was actually a tiny piece. It just makes you feel like you're such a little speck in this whole scheme of things. Yeah.
The world is huge, and the deeper you get into it, the more you realize that there's so much left to explore.
Seward, with majestic views and abundant marine life, is the gateway to the Kenai Fjords National Park. In order to get a sense of the sea-loving town, we go straight to its thriving harbor.
Seward would not exist without its harbor. We're a sea town, we're a port town, a recreational boating town. We are one of, if not the biggest, halibut processing towns in the state. We have a large local fleet of commercial fishermen, and we also have a fleet that comes to sell fish. And the fish are processed here at local canneries.
This is a Pacific halibut. It's probably about 150 pounds. These fish are fairly old fish. This fish here is probably up to 20 years old or so. We catch fish like this a dozen times a season, a fish we catch this size. So this is a very nice fish. Client was very thrilled to catch it.
Probably about 150, huh?
148. 48.
This is the first time I've ever been to Alaska.
That's a good picture.
And it's the first time I've ever been deep sea fishing for halibut. And I just feel very thrilled and very lucky to have caught such a wonderful fish.
We've probably got some of the biggest fish in this town, and definitely something to visit and see.
The Yulees continue their exploration of Alaska's vast waters with the help of Girdwood native and Olympic snowboarding medalist Rosie Fletcher.
Did they tell you about Mount Marathon?
No.
Oh, on 4th of July, that's Marathon Mountain. It's, and they run up, you can see the path up there.
Yeah.
And they run up and run down, and it's the second oldest marathon.
Oh, really?
In Boston, yeah. My name's Rosie Fletcher. I was born and raised in Girdwood, Alaska, which is about 30 miles south of Anchorage. I'm a 3-time Olympian and a bronze medalist in the 2006 Winter Olympics in snowboarding.
Is this the boat that we're getting on?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, great.
I'm really excited to show Alvin and Melanie all that Alaska has to offer. We've got great sea life where the mountains meet the ocean, spectacular views that you definitely wouldn't have the opportunity to see anywhere else.
Established in 1980, this national park encompasses some 600,000 acres of unspoiled wilderness on the southeast coast of the Kenai Peninsula. It is a changing landscape shaped by glaciers, earthquakes, and storms. Orcas, otters, and goats are just a few of the animals making their home in this astonishing place where mountains, ice, and sea converge.
So we're gonna see the orcas.
Yeah, tell us what we're gonna see.
So the orcas are a member of the dolphin family, and there are different family groups throughout South Central Alaska.
Oh, right there!
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Oh, they're there. 2 of them.
Out there.
The male's dorsal fin can be up to 6 feet tall.
That's amazing.
And that's kind of how we spot them when we're out on the water like this.
I thought we'd see one whale and it would be really far in the distance, and instead we saw like 50 whales, and they were right up close, right next to the boat.
Among Resurrection Bay's handful of residents is Darian Seavey, who, inspired by nature and the simple life, lives on a secluded property overlooking the water.
On the top part is the yurt, and it was developed in Mongolia, and of course now they're using modern materials to build them, but they used to be made out of skins and whatever, and they were a mobile home, so to speak. I built it myself with some help from some friends. We don't have electricity other than the generator on the porch. We don't have conventional running water. We do have a septic system. They use that tarp around the structure in order for it to be portable. So you can see the crisscrossing in the windows there. That accordions up, rolls up into a tube. There's very few places with the kind of view that we get from here, which the view changes every day. So that's what kind of makes it unique, is every morning is different, every night is different. So it's kind of like watching TV out the window.
On the other side of Resurrection Bay, the Yulees end their trip with a visit to Spire Cove, a breathtaking passage nestled between 2 large rock formations over the waters at Kenai Fjords.
Spire Cove was the prettiest part of this boat ride. They're just huge rocks coming out of the water with evergreens on top and caves along the side. It's just so dramatic and impressive. I loved it. It was my favorite part.
In 1989, Alaskans were horrified that the oil from the Valdez disaster had reached the carved cliffs of the fjords. Eventually, $15 million was given to the National Park Service to restore the decimated ecosystem.
This
This felt like the quintessential Alaskan experience. And you imagine yourself in, you know, cold waters on a brisk day with whales and mountains and blue sky, and it was perfect.
Today, the Yulees take the advice of the 1,000 Places book and head to the Kachemak Bay Wilderness Lodge. Along the way, the water taxi will stop at Gull Island, where 10,000 seabirds from 8 different species have come to feed and nest. The Yulees guide for the day continues their education.
Is that why most of these birds are over here? Is this where they nest and
Yeah, they come here to nest. And there's about between 17 and 18,000 nesting birds here.
Wow, that's a lot more than I would have guessed.
Yeah, and there's about 8 different species that nest here. But the most predominant ones are, of course, the black-legged kittiwakes, which you'll see all over the place here.
Are they going to be here all year?
No, they leave. In fact, most of the birds will be off the island here in the next couple of weeks.
What do they eat?
Fish. That's why they're here.
Oh, yeah.
That's why this is a good place to nest, because there's plenty to eat around the island here, and there's also no land-based predators. That's why they like these islands out in the middle of nowhere like this.
Does the sound ever start to bother you?
No, the smell does, though.
From Gull Island, the taxi heads to the Wilderness Lodge. Guests are always greeted on the beach with a warm welcome.
Hi, nice to have you here.
Hi, Melanie.
Hi, Melanie. I'm Diane.
Hi, Diane. Albin.
Albin.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to have
Nice to
you.
meet
This is beautiful.
Thank you.
Hi. The Kachemak Bay Wilderness Lodge is a 5-day vacation package, and so we offer our guests, only 12 guests at a week, everything from their meals and private cabin accommodations, which are very deluxe, and all the guide service. So if they want to go kayaking or fishing or even just sit on the dock and read a book, we provide everything that they would need for their comfort and relaxation.
The lodge's private cabins have sleeping and living areas and decks with spectacular views of mountain and sea. The main lodge has a large common area, dining room, and an open kitchen with friendly staff.
This view is awesome.
Yeah? We're gonna do this hike down to Sandy Beach. And then after Sandy Beach, we can go on to Moosehead Point. We can look out across Kachemak Bay at the Seabird Rookery. I'm Shannon McBride Morin, and I was born and raised here, so I was fortunate enough to grow up. This is my home and our family business. Yeah, so did you guys spot all these raspberries on the path? Yeah. They're fantastic this time of year.
The darker ones are the sweeter ones, huh?
The dark ones are the sweet ones.
Our teeth are going to be all red.
They're all over. There's no way the bears will come around. They're very shy. Oh, look at what this is. Right up here in this dead tree snag. Do you see that kind of dark spot right there?
Yeah.
That's where the bald eagle was nesting this summer. So if we keep walking, we can hike down along the beach, and we can go past my aunt and uncle's house, and it takes you all the way out to where we enter Chinapoop Bay, where the lodge is. My favorite thing here at the Kachemak Bay Wilderness Lodge is kayaking, because sea kayaking is fabulous. And sea kayaking here is so easy. Most people who come and stay with us, our clients here at the lodge, have never been kayaking before. It's a first, and I'm a kayak guide for them, and I take them out and I show them how fun it is, how easy, how safe, and how you can go right along the edge of the shore with the incoming tide and see bald eagles and seals and sometimes whales and sea otters.
Look at all of them.
They just keep popping their heads up and looking back at us.
They're like little hanging out with us. Yeah, they're curious. They want to know what these big yellow bananas in the water are. Good one. Oh, there's one right there. They're really noisy and kind of rude.
Look at them all popping up again.
Can you all feel now that we're against the current?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And a little tiny bit of a breeze?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see bar on the right, those are all blue mussels.
I can't believe
God. Yeah, solid, thick. We pick them and we'll have them for hors d'oeuvres tonight.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Wow.
they're great.
I just love it that you guys can walk out your back door,
I know.
catch your hors d'oeuvres, catch your entree.
That's right.
Put them in there with nothing else in there, and they'll sizzle and start steaming in their own juices. It's just the juice from the ocean. It's just wonderful. So you can see these guys starting to steam a little bit now. I'm thinking it's time to check these.
They cook pretty fast.
Yeah, like 12 minutes.
Once the steam clears, they're opened up.
Yum.
And you just take that little guy, and it's gone.
Was it good? Was it good?
You ready for some?
Yeah, look,
Yeah,
done.
I want to try one.
Done and
Okay,
gone.
we'll take them out to the dock and have hors d'oeuvres out in the sun. How about that?
Great.
Okay.
Pull the juice off.
Yum.
Wow.
Put this here.
Make some room.
So you'll be spoiled. You'll never have blue
mussels.
mussels again as good as these, so help yourself.
Can't eat seafood at home anymore.
So you guys just eat them with your fingers?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yep, you don't have to. Some of these, did you see how big some of these are?
Oh my gosh.
They're huge. They're like, you know, longer than your thumb.
These are so much better than anything we get at
And I'll
home.
be honest with you, I was never a big fan of mussels at home.
Oh, really?
These taste so good.
And then the funny thing is, you know, we picked them all right down here on the beach.
Throw
so
the shells right back over.
there you go.
Nice.
You're not littering at all.
perfect.
Right back to whence it came.
That's great. The blue mussels were cooked in water and their own juices, nothing else. And you would have thought there was seasoning in the broth, nothing. It was so delicious. Everything here is perfect.
The day just gets better and better.
I don't want to leave this place. I'm serious, this place is amazing.
It's hard to believe you could find a place so much like paradise in Alaska.
I know.
I recognize how lucky I am, but there's always still a part of me that misses home. But the interesting thing is that travel itself starts becoming a little more familiar. You start feeling a little bit of home in the journey.
Nestled at the mouth of Kachemak Bay, Homer has it all. Wildlife, mountain views, glaciers, and fjords. But its most distinguishing feature is the Homer Spit, a narrow gravel bar that extends 7 kilometers into the bay.
My name's Mary Huff, and we're on Homer Spit in Homer, Alaska. I own Salty Girls Gifts and Bookings, and also Captain Mike's Charters, do fishing tours and sell gifts and things like that. The people here in Alaska and in Homer especially are very diverse and free-thinking, and they're not afraid to say what they think either, you know? It's great. You can be your own person here. I drove up to Alaska in 1985, and the road ended, and I put my tent up practically right across the street from here, walked across the street and ordered a beer, and that was my business partner. Then I went to another bar and met my husband.
Hi, Salty Dog. The Salty Dog, this building that we're in right now is the oldest building in Homer. It was built around 1898. And in the 50s, Mr. Abbott, who owned this building, brought it all the way out to the end of the spit where it was originally opened as a Salty Dog. Traditionally, you could sign the name of your friend on a dollar if they weren't here and you wanted to buy them a drink. And the bartender would hang it up behind the bar, and when you came in and saw your dollar up there, you could buy yourself a drink with it. People come in looking for dollars that they left years and years ago, or dollars that they know their friend or their uncle or their cousin or whatnot have left. They open till 5 a.m.
The Salty Dog also provides a venue for local artists.
And as the rain falls down around in my head.
I'm Otsley Kilcher, proud grandson of Ewell Far North Kilcher, one of the first homesteaders in this area to stick his stake in the ground.
They grow weary which does not take long.
Otz Lee is an accomplished musician who comes from a musical family. His sister is singer-songwriter Jewel. He grew up in Homer and has strong ties to the community and its history.
My grandfather first came here in 1936. He left Switzerland, decided that Europe was not the place to be. He came over here, got to New York, hitched his way across the States and took a barge up to Seward, at which point he solo one-manned across the Harding ice field, came over here, hiked up the head of the bay from Kachemak Bay and stuck his claim on a small fox herder's homestead. 8 kids later and 630 acres, that's the Kilcher homestead. Homer is a quaint drinking village with a fishing problem.
Spit's amazing. It's so cool. You go down into this little, spit of land, and it's beautiful, and the mountains are amazing, and the glaciers, just the whole view of the Homer Spit is incredible.
On their final night in Alaska, the Yulees try out a Homer tradition, camping on the Spit.
You'll do a good job lighting the fire and putting up the tent.
What are you gonna be doing?
Assisting. We're gonna put that rock on it so it doesn't fly away.
All right, that was one match. All right, come on, light.
All right, Alvin. Are they supposed to be connected like this?
Yep. Where's that lighter fluid?
Could you use this to light the fire?
Turd, can we wait till it lights and I throw an actual log on it? This goes down.
And 3 hours later, have enough.
Ta-da!
Nice job, dude.
Nice job, Mel. So what do you think of Alaska?
I love it.
Do you? You want to come back here?
Yes.
Yeah, I do too. It exceeded my expectations completely. I feel like a lot of the things that we've done and seen in Alaska were overwhelming. We all know it's beautiful, but to come here and experience it is something that everybody should do. I can't wait to come back.
Every day of this trip has been my favorite day in Alaska. Everything I've done is my favorite thing that I've done. You're really up close and in nature.
We're going back there.
It's really heavenly. Honestly, it's like a little slice of heaven in Alaska. I love it.
This is a life-changing experience. This is elevating us to a new level in ourselves, in our personalities, and I hope in our lives at home. It's really redefining who we are as people.
Melanie and I always said we wanted to go out and see the world, we just didn't have time. Once you get away, once you step away from your life and get out and take this adventure you've always wanted to, you gain such a unique perspective on your life, on yourself, on your relationships. I'm telling you, just get out and do it.